Welcome back to Green Pro. As discussed in the previous video, we have done a full end-to-end video of the entire solar PV roof design process, but this one in particular is going to focus on completing the MCS performance estimate and the EPVS calculations. So once you've done your quick quote and you've done your panel placement, as shown in the previous video, you'll then move on to the MCS performance estimate section. And this starts with shading. Because you've already done your panel placement and your inverter and battery in the quick quote part, then we move on to the actual full shading analysis. So you can either upload an image here and put it behind the sun path diagram, or you can not add an image and just do it manually. So I'm going to go don't add an image. And then what you want to do is click on the tabs where you think there is shading. If there's shading within 10 meters, then you need to click on this little thing here, drag it over, and then you can pull that out as you would do on the old one. But I'm going to say there's no shading within 10 meters, and this is my further shading on my particular roof section. This is on the first roof section. If you have more than one, then you move on to the next roof section. I indicated in the quick quote that there was no shading on this particular section, so I'm going to leave this blank, and then you click on done. What that will do is then take you through to the survey as you would have done in the previous way of doing it. So I'm just going to pop in my surveyor name and survey date. Am I going to use EPVS compliance? Yes, I am, which means I'm going to cap self-consumption at 90%. Am I using battery storage? Yes, I am, a 10 kilowatt battery, because that's what I selected in my equipment. And then what services are to provided by the ESS? Am I going to do only self-consumption, no self-consumption, or both? So I'm going to say both. And I'm going to say 8 kilowatts of the capacity will be used for self-consumption. Now, this is where you have your MGD 003 questions. So the assumed occupancy archetype, which is home half day, home all day, or out all day. There is a little tooltip here that gives you the descriptions of those from MGD 003. Then it asks you questions such as, does the property have electric space heating, electric hot water, electric vehicle charging loads? I'm going to say no. Is there already microgeneration? I'm going to say no. And are 12 months electricity readings available? So I'm going to say yes. Latest 12 months readings prior to the installation of loads, I'm going to say that was 6,500. Let's see. So it's given my percentages of savings and energy exported. And then it presets some smart export guarantee information. You can, of course, update these if you wanted to. Now, I put my installation cost in the quick quote as 10,000. If I wanted PV only, then I'm going to put that down as 6,000. And then we can save. And what that will do is it will give you the full calculations as it would from the old way of doing it. So it has all of the information that you've put in there, and then you can generate that as a PDF, which will open separately, and then you can finish that section. Once that's finished, you can then move on to the EPVS calculations. So we'll go into here. Again, it will have pulled through a lot of information from everything else you've already included. But what are we going to say here for EPVS? So 25-year term, I'm going to put in fuel inflation, first year panel degradation, ongoing panel degradation, and battery degradation, which EPVS says that you must factor in. Do you want to factor in replacement costs for the battery and inverter? You can say yes or no. And will a loan be used to pay for this installation? Obviously, only select yes for that if you have the appropriate authority and approvals in place to do so. I'm going to say no for this one. Then we go to save, and then it gives us our EPVS breakdown. So that will give the payback period, the net present value, and then obviously our year's income and savings and when the system starts to pay for itself. And this has given us that we start to make profit in year 7. So once that's all finished, you can generate that also as a PDF. Now, if you want to make sure that these documents are included in the final quote, you need to make sure that you're generating each of them as you go. So you don't have to do anything with them, but make sure that you generate them and then you can finish. And that's your MCS performance estimate and the EPVS calculations all done. The next video will go through pulling all that together in a final full quote. Thanks very much for watching.